Good evening, I'm Jolie Wolfe. KPAM News Time is 10 o'clock. Partly cloudy skies, and it's 75 degrees in downtown Portland. Newly released 9/11 tapes. That's our top story. KPAM News has continuing coverage. More chilling accounts of the horror of September 11th as today's release of additional emergency recordings from that fateful day. ABC's Brian Ross reports.
The first report came in at 8:47 that morning, followed quickly by others.
The World Trade Center, tower number 1 is on fire. The whole outside of the building, there was just a huge explosion. Send every available ambulance, everything you got to World Trade Center now.
The tape suggests that over the next hour, as several hundred firefighters were sent into the burning towers, they had no indication of what was about to happen.
Ready to collapse, ready to collapse.
343 firefighters died that day, including most of those whose voices we just heard.
Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice says the assassination of Sri Lanka's foreign minister is a senseless murder and vicious act of terror. The 73-year-old foreign minister was shot in the heart and the head after taking a swim at his home in Sri Lanka's capital. Rice is urging Sri Lankans not to let the event lead to a resumed civil war. Sri Lanka's president has declared a state of emergency that will give the government agency authority in investigating the killing. In an interview with Israel TV, President Bush says the focus will be on diplomacy to convince Iran to abandon its efforts to join the nuclear club. Speaking outside of his ranch in Crawford, Texas, the president again called on Iran to end work that would lead to the development of nuclear weapons.
We're working feverishly on the diplomatic route, and we'll see if we're successful or not. I'm skeptical. Well, that's all options are on the table.
President Bush's motorcade did not stop on its way to a fundraiser to talk with Cindy Sheehan or any other anti-war protester rallying to help her get a meeting with Bush. As the motorcade went by, Sheehan held a sign that read, "Why do you make time for donors and not for me?" An increased police presence on the streets of downtown Portland tonight. Last night, there was a report of shots fired. Earlier this week, a shooting led to the death of a man downtown. Mayor Tom Potter says he'll be out tonight along with more foot, horse, and bike patrols of police.
I hope that the citizens come out, too, to show their support for safe communities and to make sure that we send the message out very clearly that Portland belongs to its citizens, not to the gangsters.
Well, we're looking at some hot weather this weekend. In fact, says National Weather Service meteorologist Clinton Rocky, there's a red flag warning in effect all weekend long.
That means immediate action has to be taken by the fire community to either safeguard current fire operations or to put resources in place so that they can deal with what we consider to be a very critical weather pattern for fires and fire behavior.
Campers should be extra careful with their fires. Smokers should refrain from throwing cigarette butts out of car windows while driving. An independent counsel hired by producers of American Idol have cleared Idol judge Paula Abdul of any wrongdoing in the Corey Clark scandal. Clark, a contestant on American Idol back in 2003, claimed he and Abdul had a sexual relationship. Clark also claimed he was given special assistance during his run on the show. The producers of the show and Fox Broadcasting say Abdul can continue as a judge for the next season. And again, our top story, newly released 9/11 tapes today. For continuing coverage, keep it tuned to News Talk 860 KPAM. The updated KPAM weather forecast and the Jerry Doyle Show on the way. KPAM News Time is 10:04.